This is a Dynamite Network podcast.
Welcome to the Senjo World Podcast. We're a podcast where we take two anime characters and pit them against each other, run the stats, and see who would win. I'm your host, Zach, and today I have with me my co-host, Ice. Ice, introduce yourself.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing today? I am SGX Iceman. How y'all doing today? That is my gamer tag. That is my YouTube. That is my Twitch. That is on all platforms. Yes, I am your co-host today. I am Ice, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Awesome. So, this is a new podcast where, like I said before, we are pitting two anime characters against each other. Ice, would you want to tell the people who you're bringing?
I am bringing Tanjiro Kamado. He's from Demon Slayer. Y'all haven't seen it, which y'all probably have, is literally one of the most popular animes right now. Yes, I'm bringing them. Tanjiro. It's pretty cool.
But, Ice, you're not just bringing just Tanjiro, right?
Facts.
You're bringing Demon King Tanjiro, which is basically...
Demon King Tanjiro. Okay.
Yes, which is basically, end of the story Tanjiro. Basically, there's going to be spoilers for Demon Slayer, so be wary. I apologize now because most people probably didn't even know he turns into a demon, right? But it is what it is. Sorry, guys. The character that I'm bringing is Yusuke Urameshi from Yu Yu Hakasho, right? He is a spirit detective, in a sense, but the version of Yusuke that we're going to be talking about is Mazoku Yusuke, right? Which at this point in the story, he actually is removed from being a spirit detective because he is too powerful and he's a demon, right? So we'll get into that. But yeah, so like I said, we're going to take these two characters. We're going to take turns right now telling you their backgrounds. And then we're going to have a quick speculation battle. Now, the speculation battle has nothing to do with the results, right? Yeah. So we use a Monte Carlo simulator, and basically we'll take their stats, put it in this simulator, and let it run, and we'll see who wins the most out of 1,000 battles using the numbers. So we just like to do a quick little speculation because, makes it a little more interesting of how you think the fight would go down, right? So, with that being said, let's get into the backstories. Alright, so Yusuke Urameshi, he's a spirit detective who is tasked with protecting the human world from various supernatural threats over the course of the series, and his closest friends as well as greatest allies include Kuwabara, Kurama, Hiei, Keiko, Genkai, Koenma, and Botan. He is also the de facto leader of Team Urameshi and the general person to look to when, trouble starts. At the start of the series, Yusuke is an uncontrollable teenage delinquent street fighter with little to no positive qualities. He's a real asshole, right? And throughout the course of the series, he becomes a better person, becoming more altruistic, a bit, unconventional defender of the human world, right? While basically he's, throughout the series he becomes essentially a more powerful martial artist as we go on, right? Yusuke Urameshi is 14 years old at the start of Yu Yu Hakusho, and he's in the 3rd grade of middle school. So he's the toughest student at Shirayashi Shiki Junior High, and he fights and defeats Kuwabara on a frequent basis. He is the stereotypical bad guy with a bad attendance record, and he picks fights with all the kids at school while skipping school and being berated by his mother. Yusuke loafs around town. Yusuke finds this kid, and he's playing with this ball, and, you know, he stops it from going on the street, you know, tells the kid, oh, hey, dumbass, don't play with your ball here or else you're going to get hit by a car. And the kid starts to get upset, so he starts making funny faces, right? And then he leaves, and he's walking down the street, and he sees the same kid playing with his ball on the sidewalk, right? So basically, the ball rolls out into the street, and Yusuke goes to save the kid and ends up getting hit by a car and dying. So yes, in the very beginning of the show, this man Yusuke gets hit by a car and dies. As a ghost, Yusuke is greeted by, you know, this atypical version of the Grim Reaper. She's very bubbly, this cheerful young woman named Botan, right? She informs Yusuke that no one in the spirit world actually expected him to die, risking his life saving this little boy. And to be honest, the boy would have survived, right, if Yusuke didn't intervene. So basically, there was no point in Yusuke doing this, and they actually weren't ready for him to die yet. So it's kind of weird because they say there's no place for him in the afterlife, right? But it is what it is. So the spirit world is also amazed that Yusuke, known for his bad attitude, would end up saving this kid. And for this reason, he's actually given a chance to live again, essentially. So Botan explains to Yusuke that he can return to life, but initially he's like, nah, fuck that, I'm just gonna die, right? But Botan ends up taking him to his funeral, right, where he sees all his friends. Well, he doesn't actually have any friends, but like his rival shows up and he's crying. You know, the girl he likes, or the girl who likes him, is there, completely upset. His mom, you know, is crying. So he ends up actually changing his mind. He's like, holy shit, I do actually affect all these people, you know? So basically he's like, all right. He decides to come back, right? After a small series of events to lead him to come back to life, he ends up being able to see demons now, right? And so he sees this demon inhabiting the body of this like street punk, and basically he goes and he beats them up, and then Botan shows up and tells him that his experience with death allows him to do these things and like see these, like, you know, demons essentially. And basically now he has to become, you know, Earth's new spirit detective. So he's tasked with protecting the human race from demons by solving cases involving the apparitions. One of the first missions Yusuke undertakes leads him to entering this tournament fighting demons, which he ends up becoming the champion, and he runs into Toguro. You know, if you look up Yu Yu Hakusho, you normally see Yusuke fighting Toguro, but really that's like the first half of the series, you know? He goes on to fight much stronger people, essentially. So, near the end of the series, Yusuke ends up running into Shinobu Sensui, he's a man who has split personalities, and Yusuke basically can't defeat him, right? So Shinobu ends up actually killing Yusuke, which in turn ends up activating his like Mazoku form, turning him into like a demon. So basically when he died, it activated his like demon blood. And when he got this Mazoku like activated, his great grand grandfather essentially takes over his body, right? For the sake of me telling the story, I'm just gonna call him his demon daddy, okay? So his demon daddy so his demon daddy ends up taking over his body and killing Sensui, right? Shoots the, you know, the famous picture of, you see Yusuke with the long hair shooting the giant spirit gun, right? That is actually Ryzen, his demon daddy. And basically, as he shoots, you know, the spirit gun, Yusuke comes back, like comes to, and he's like, hey, like, he's telling Shinobu to dodge, and he's pissed off now that he's not the one who actually killed Shinobu, right? So basically Yusuke wants to track down Raizen over this whole ordeal, and he says that, thinking that if he was to kill a human like Sensui, he should have been the one to make the decision, not this, ancestor demon daddy. So at this point, Yusuke is removed from his position as spirit detective because he is now considered too dangerous for the human realm, right? And so the great Emperor Enma, basically, or actually in English they call him King Yama, which is the same as Dragon Ball for those who, watch Dragon Ball. So King Yama actually wants Yusuke dead, right? So that he doesn't become even more dangerous, kind of like Sensui. Because we actually learned that Sensui was also a spirit detective. In the beginning of this season, Yusuke is forced to live his normal life in the human world. However, he ends up getting troubled by his new identity as a demon. So Koenma actually advises him to go to Genkai, and Genkai actually ends up sending Yusuke to a former spirit detective, Kuroko Sato. Now, during this conversation, Raizen ends up sending 3 of his advisors to go find Yusuke, and they invite him to return to the demon world. Yusuke says, yeah, sure, because he wants to, get revenge on his, old man, I guess, for, killing Sensui in his own body. So at this point, he prepares to go to the demon world, and once he gets to the demon world, he meets up with his father, and, instantly he's like, all right, I'm going to kick your ass, and Yusuke can't do anything to Raizen. So he decides to start training. So after a whole year of training, so Raizen ends up dying due to not eating humans for hundreds of years, and this leads Yusuke to meet the other rulers of Hell, and they decide to start a tournament to see who should actually run the demon realm, because, there was 3 fighting factions, and Raizen was the leader of one of them. So, Yusuke is now supposed to run the, Raizen district. So they're gonna have this, tournament, whatever. So the tournament starts, Yusuke passes through the first round, he gets to the second round, and he ends up fighting one of the other demon kings, and he ends up losing. And that's pretty much the end of his story, right? There's some variations that exist between, the anime and the manga, but they essentially have the same overall theme of Yusuke coming back to the human world, reuniting with Keiko, getting their last kiss, right? And yeah, that's pretty much it. We get a small little time skip of about a year and a half to 2 years since he went to the demon world, and that's it. That's Yusuke's story. So I'm sure you've watched all of Yu Yu Hakusho. So
yeah, oh yeah,
right.
Yeah. And then he just literally just he even
he just comes back.
I didn't even see him using any powers.
No, he doesn't. Right.
He doesn't.
So
it just stops there.
Yeah. So
right.
We'll be using Yusuke at his peak, right? The Mazoku, right? I'm not too sure if he loses powers or not, but some of the powers and abilities that Yusuke have consist of flight. He's more than likely has life longevity, right? He's got acrobatics, his aura, astral projections, key manipulation, energy manipulation. He can create barriers that can then basically kind of reflect attacks, right? Sound manipulation and shockwave generation. He also has regeneration, right? He can heal himself, fix broken bones, heal from key bullets, over the course of the same battle he was just fighting in. And he's resistant to mind manipulation, so you can't take over his mind. And that's Yusuke. That is Yusuke. The only weakness he has is that he acts extremely unintelligent outside of actual battle, which we're not going to run into because they're battling. So he has no weaknesses. And that's Yusuke Urameshi. Alright, your turn.
We're going to get into Tanjiro's background. Tanjiro was born on a mountain as the eldest son of Kai and Tanjiro Kamado. You feel me? A family of charcoal sellers. After his five younger siblings were born, he adopted the idea, as the oldest child, he should be strong and endure any hardship for them, for them as in his family. Although the family did not enjoy a lavish, they lived happily and showed a great deal of love and care for one another. On God, they did. Before Tanjiro passed away, a night with the threat of a hungry bear prompted him to show Tanjiro the state in action. Tanjiro was frightened at the sight of the predator, but his father quickly killed him with his axe upon entering the state. Tanjiro's abilities shocked him, and Tanjiro made sure to remember the event. So after his dad passed away, his siblings seen Tanjiro as a father figure. During the Taisho period, Tanjiro lives a modest yet blissful life in the mountains with his family. One fateful day, Tanjiro returned home to find almost all his family slaughtered. It's ridiculous. He found his sister Nezuko unconscious and wounded, lying in the snow and shielding his younger sibling, her younger sibling, with her arms. He picks her up and rushes her to the closest doctor, only for Nezuko to transform into a demon. He is saved by a mysterious swordsman who he begs not to kill his sister, and he will find a way to turn his sister back to normal. This set Tanjiro on his path to becoming a demon slayer. Throughout the series, Tanjiro faces and defeats plenty of demons with help, even defeating Muzan, the king of demons. After his defeat, Muzan manages to turn Tanjiro into a demon. Starts to attack the other demon slayers. Giyu to attack Tanjiro in order to stop him. Inosuke rushes up to Tanjiro, pleading to stop him from his rampage, but after a flashback, he is unable to bring himself to hurt Tanjiro. Tanjiro reaches out his hand to Inosuke, threatening to attack. Tanjiro as a demon becomes a bigger threat than Muzan himself. Given that he is immune to sunlight like his sister, until he manages to return to human form. Thanks to his friend's efforts, although his right eye iris is now a dull pink gray color, and the pupil black rather than its original one. In the fight, Tanjiro's left arm was gone. As he became a demon, it grew back. He loses all feeling in it below the elbow and thus the ability to move it from his forearm down. After the battle, Tanjiro returns home with his sister and friends. Later it's revealed that he married fellow slayer Kanao Tessuri. So we're going to get into powers and abilities. His powers and abilities are, he has superhuman physical characteristics, acrobatics, berserk mode, enhanced sense, extraordinary perception. He also has immortality, regeneration, self-sustenance, body control, battle spirit, multiple cells, accelerated development, energy projection, shockwave generation, disease manipulation, regeneration negation. My boy got fear manipulation and paralysis inducement, pain manipulation, poison manipulation. And that is Tanjiro's background and ability.
All right, so yeah, he is he has a lot more abilities and stuff than I actually thought he did, or really remember him even having.
Like literally,
Right?
like
He is
he
extremely
can
strong.
literally stop regeneration. He can just stop somebody from regenerating. That is fire. That is OP as hell. Not even gonna lie.
Well, hold on. It actually says Giyu stated that the Crimson Red Nichiren blades have no effect on him. So basically, the red blades stop. So the blades have the negation, but Tanjiro is so powerful that the negation is canceled. Right? So he can still heal. So you can chop off his arm and it'll grow back. But if you chopped off another demon's arm, it wouldn't grow back because of the sword. So that's what it is. Okay, so now we're going to get into our quick speculation battle. Like I said before, this battle has no play on, the results. This is just something fun we can do to speculate who do we think or how we think, either character will win said battle, right? So with that being said, they're 25, let's say 25 meters apart. Who goes first?
Tanjiro. Tanjiro would definitely go first. He is in berserk mode. Tanjiro. He rushes in, grabs Yusuke, whips off his back, and punches him.
So Yusuke is wrapped up in one of Tanjiro's whip tendril things, right? Yusuke is definitely stronger than Tanjiro physically, so I would say he would just kind of flex and bust out of the being wrapped up, right? And then grab the tail and just fucking slam, over his back, just slam Tanjiro into the ground.
And as he's being slammed to the ground, when he hits the ground, Tanjiro will quickly recover and backs up to where he originally was. As he is going backwards, he tries again with another whip, but this time he attempts to pierce Yusuke's chest.
Okay, so Yusuke sees this, tendril coming towards him, and he's like, please. And so he kind of just sidesteps it and ends up, with kind of like a karate chop, just slicing off the tendril with his hand, right? Then he picks up the severed tendril and just kind of throws it at Tanjiro like it's a spear.
As the severed tentacle comes towards Tanjiro, he dashes past it, comes directly in front of Yusuke and headbutts him.
Okay, that's definitely gonna hurt a little bit, but Yusuke been like, yeah, he got a hard head, bro. He been taking beatings on the regular, right? So he just kind of shrugs that off and he's like, is that all you got? Right? So he ends up shooting a couple rounds of his spirit gun over at Tanjiro, hitting Tanjiro in the chest.
As Tanjiro is getting hit in the chest, he really recovered quickly because he has regeneration, and then he'll literally dashes again, once again, because he's in berserk mode. He dashes again towards Yusuke, once again, trying to, and this time he grabs one of his hands and tries to crush it. Try to crush his arms.
Okay, but Yusuke is no pushover, so he just kind of flexes his arms and just kind of just like kind of like rips his arm away from Tanjiro, right? Actually breaking Tanjiro's fingers. Yeah, no. You can afterwards. You can say.
I thought he was done.
But his fingers instantly heal back. Yeah. No. I'm gonna punch you in the face.
Okay.
Let me punch you.
Okay.
Pull my arms away, bro.
Okay.
Gotta make this a fight. Right?
As Tanjiro get punched in the face, one of his tentacles wrap around Yusuke's neck and slams him to the ground.
Okay, so Yusuke is like Yamcha'd on the ground right now, kind of, okay, that hurt a little bit. Right? So, Yusuke gets up and he's like, alright, that was a good one. And he dashes in and just comes in and hits like Tanjiro with like this crazy like 3-piece combo with a side of kicking to the face, sending Tanjiro flying into like the side of a mountain or something.
Tanjiro get kicked on the side of the mountain. As Tanjiro hits the side of the mountain, what Yusuke doesn't know, he had a tentacle wrapped around his leg, and Tanjiro throws him across the fucking field.
Okay, but Yusuke can fly, so he just kind of stops himself in the sky. You know what I mean? And he's like, "What was that, dude?" Yusuke would like fly in and just straight up Liu Kang kick Tanjiro straight in the chest. You know what I mean? Breaking, like, basically almost, I would say, yeah, he puts a hole right through Tanjiro's chest. So now Tanjiro just has a big hole in his chest. And he.
But he quickly regenerates that. Then he takes his hand, and drives it through Yusuke's heart.
Killing him?
Yes.
Okay. So.
But would that kill him? Like would that like kill him?
I'm pretty sure, yeah, it would. Yeah. Yeah,
but
demons are killable in Yu Yu Hakusho. They're not like they don't regenerate like the.
But isn't he like a spirit too, right?
No, he's not a spirit.
Oh, he's not.
So basically, Tanjiro is trying to put his fist through Yusuke's, heart, but Yusuke dodges, right? Mm-hmm. Pushes back Tanjiro and just charges up the biggest spirit gun bullet you've ever seen, and just completely evaporates Tanjiro, right? So, with that being said, right, I think that's a good place to end this fight. You know what I mean? Right? It's either, Tanjiro rips out Yusuke's heart, or Tanjiro gets completely evaporated by Yusuke's giant spirit gun bullet, which doesn't take long to charge up. So, you know what I mean? I know I said charge up, but like, he just, boo, and it's ready to go. So.
Facts.
So. So yeah, so with the speculation out of the way, who do you think actually wins this fight?
Which I like besides the whole I would think that definitely Yusuke, he has like actual like powers for real.
Like sanity?
Yeah, he has sanity.
Yeah, I guess, but I mean,
and like his battle, like he does have sanity. That's like the main thing, like, to be honest. He has sanity, but at the same time, like during like at that berserk mode. Hold on. At the same time, let's see. I would think that Yusuke will win off of that.
Okay. You think Yusuke will win?
Off of the whole the spirit gun. Off the whole spirit gun.
Yeah.
Thing.
Well. Yeah.
But
right?
Tanjiro could really dodge that shit. Like unless he does multiple big ones. then I mean,
which he can do.
He could do
So,
that. So if he did like three big ones in like two different directions, like three different directions and shit. If he did three big ones in two different,
bro.
in three different directions,
You just spam them bad boys.
Yeah,
man.
Tanjiro would be fucking dead. I ain't gonna lie. And my boy can fly. Yusuke can fly. Tanjiro cannot fly.
He can fly. It's not like he can fly very quickly or anything. He's just shown actually to be floating and fighting in the sky, right? Which is technically a form of flight.
Yes.
So there's no telling how quick so I didn't give him any advantage in speed because of his flight, because he hasn't shown.
If he just jumped up in the air, he'd be floating. Right.
Basically, yeah, he wouldn't have to land on the ground. Yeah, he can.
So he could literally like jump up and shoot about three big ass fucking spirit blasts. Spirit bullets into the fucking ground and obliterate Tanjiro.
He could possibly. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you think Yusuke's gonna win, even though you're representing Tanjiro?
Even though I'm representing,
still think it's gonna be Yusuke.
Definitely.
All right, I'm totally down with that. I'd love for Yusuke to win this match, right?
Yeah.
So, are you ready to find out the results of our first Senjo battle?
Indeed.
Okay, so a drum roll, please. The winner. The winner is Demon King Tanjiro. Tanjiro, buddy, yeah. So Tanjiro actually wins 53.3% of the time, leaving, Yusuke with 46.7. So it was a pretty close matchup, right?
That's what I was going to say,
Tanjiro won. Tanjiro won 533, and Yusuke won 467 of the 1,000 matches. So yes, very close matchup, right? You know what I mean? I'm a Yu Yu Hakusho guy. Mm-hmm. I really wanted Yusuke to win, right? Mm-hmm. But, the immortality...
Oh, he is immortal.
Right? That's why I kept saying the only way I think Yusuke could win is if he blasts him with a giant, just completely evaporating. So there's absolute... how you try and kill Majin Buu. Yeah,
that shit
right?
fucking slipped my fucking mind. He is immortal. Goddamn.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, that was a great first episode, I have to say, right? I really do like doing these battles. These battles are really cool, right? And once we get it figured out, I think it'll be super fun. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, with that being said, Demon King Tanjiro is our winner for this week. Our next episode, who are we doing, Ice? We're doing
Hitman Reborn and Fairy Tail.
Fairy Tail, yes. So we're using Natsu from Fairy Tail and Tsuna Yoshi from Hitman Reborn. I'm going to be representing... Yeah, so I'm going to be representing Tsuna, and Iceman is going to be repping... Natsu. Right? So, yep. So, the head of the Vongola family versus the Dragon Slayer, Salamander, Natsu. Right? So, I'm excited for that one. That's going to be a little bit of a fire battle, right? We'll see if we can figure out if Natsu can eat some fire or not. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, so with all that out of the way, right? Mm-hmm. Make sure you check out the Dynamic Podcast Network. And check out our socials.
Facts.
Senjo World. It is going to be Senjo World on everything, right?
Facts.
Senjo World on Instagram, Senjo World on Twitter, Senjo World on Facebook, right? Look for the Senjo World Facebook group. I'm probably just going to convert the Media Night Podcast YouTube page into my Senjo World Gaming page. So keep an eye out for all of that. And yeah, See you next week.
See you next week.
We have to come up with a good outro, but
Yeah.
for now, it's good enough.